Ancient Rome, an empire built on conquest, law, and an intricate web of gods and rituals. But beneath the grandeur and the glory lies a chilling secret, a dark chapter often whispered about, rarely fully understood. Imagine a fate where your very existence was a sacrifice, where childhood was stripped away and your life's purpose was to die for the state. This isn't a tale of gladiators fighting for fame, nor of slaves toiling in the fields. This is the story of the Ver Sacrum, the sacred spring, a ritualistic vow that could condemn the most innocent among Rome's population to a life of dedicated purpose, culminating in a ritualistic death. It was a desperate measure, born from fear and superstition, meant to appease wrathful gods during times of immense crisis.
The Ver Sacrum was invoked when Rome faced existential threats, devastating plagues, famine, or military defeats that brought the Republic to its knees. In these moments of profound desperation, the Senate or a general would vow to the gods that every creature born in the coming spring, humans and animals alike, would be consecrated. This wasn't necessarily immediate sacrifice, but a dedication.
For animals, this meant immediate sacrifice, but for the human children born during that designated spring, the fate was far more complex and terrifying. They were not immediately killed. Instead, they were marked, dedicated to the gods, and raised with a singular, grim destiny. This was a profound and unsettling twist on the idea of sacrifice. Once they reached adulthood, typically around 20 years old, these young men were ritually driven out of Rome. They were not simply exiled, they were sent forth into the wilderness or into foreign lands, often with no possessions, their lives offered to the gods. Many were expected to die or to found new settlements in the name of Rome, effectively removing them from the Roman sphere. While the Ver Sacrum usually involved banishment, there are darker interpretations and historical accounts suggesting more direct forms of human sacrifice, particularly in early Roman history, known as hostia humana. These were exceptionally rare, reserved for the most dire circumstances, often involving foreign enemies or criminals. However, the line between symbolic dedication and ritualistic death could blur. For some, especially those dedicated to particular cults or deities, their lives weren't about banishment, but about a specialized upbringing. These boys would be raised within the confines of temples or specific priestly colleges, learning rituals, prophecies, and the sacred duties required of them. They were groomed, not for life, but for a singular, sacred purpose. Their education was unlike any other. While other Roman children learned rhetoric and warfare, these boys delved into the esoteric, the mysteries of the gods, and the intricate dances of fate. They lived apart, isolated from typical Roman society, their childhoods replaced by a solemn, unwavering focus on their ultimate destiny. They were not citizens in the traditional sense, but instruments of divine will. The psychological toll on these children must have been immense, knowing from a young age that their life was not their own, but a pawn in a divine game would shape their entire being. They were taught to embrace their role, to view their ultimate sacrifice not as a tragedy, but as the highest honor, a service to Rome itself. This indoctrination was total.
While not directly the Ver Sacrum, a powerful parallel concept in Roman society was the devotio. This was a voluntary act where a general, in a moment of extreme military crisis, would vow himself and the enemy to the gods of the underworld, then charge into battle, seeking a glorious death to secure victory for Rome. It was a personal sacrifice, echoing the broader theme.
When the time came for their ultimate purpose, the rituals would be elaborate and deeply symbolic. Depending on the specific dedication, it could involve a journey, a symbolic banishment, or even a direct act within a sacred grove or temple. The details are scarce and often shrouded in myth, but the gravity of the moment was undeniable.
The Romans believed these sacrifices, whether direct or symbolic, appeased the gods, restored balance, and ensured the continued prosperity of the state. These boys were not just individuals, they were living embodiments of Rome's desperate plea, its ultimate act of piety. Their fate was intertwined with the very survival of the Republic.
It's difficult for modern minds to grasp the societal acceptance of such practices, but in ancient Rome, where religion permeated every aspect of life, these acts were seen as necessary, even noble. The idea of sacrificing the few for the many was a core tenet of their civic duty and religious devotion. It was a harsh reality, but a fundamental part of their world.
As Rome evolved, so did its religious practices. Direct human sacrifice, if it ever truly existed beyond rare instances, largely faded by the late Republic, replaced by more symbolic offerings and the sacrifice of animals. The vers sacrum itself became less about human dedication and more about the offering of animals or the founding of new colonies by Roman youth. Historians continue to debate the exact nature and frequency of these practices. Was it literal human sacrifice or a more nuanced form of dedication and banishment? The truth likely lies in the complexities of ancient sources and the evolution of Roman religion over centuries. What remains clear, however, is the profound impact these rituals had on the lives of those caught within their ancient, powerful grip.
The boys of the vers sacrum, or those dedicated to more direct fates, left no personal accounts, no diaries to tell their stories. Their voices were silenced by the weight of ritual and the needs of an empire. They exist only as footnotes in grand historical narratives, a chilling reminder of the extreme measures a society would take to ensure its survival.
Their sacrifice, whether of life or of a normal existence, serves as a dark mirror to Rome's ambition and its profound, sometimes terrifying piety. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truths of ancient civilizations, where the line between religious devotion and human cost was often blurred, and the innocent could become pawns in a desperate cosmic game.
Understanding these forgotten rituals isn't just about historical curiosity. It's about recognizing the human capacity for belief, for fear, and for the profound lengths societies will go to in the face of the unknown. It's a testament to the enduring power of myth and ritual, even when they demand the ultimate price.
The story of the slave boys trained to die for Roman rituals remains one of history's most unsettling mysteries, a testament to a world governed by gods, omens, and the desperate hope that ultimate sacrifice could avert ultimate disaster. Their silent stories continue to echo through the ages, a chilling reminder of Rome's enduring, complex legacy.
What are your thoughts on these dark Roman rituals? Do you believe these boys were truly sacrificed, or was their fate a more symbolic form of banishment? Share your insights and theories in the comments below. And if you found this journey into Rome's hidden history intriguing, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more untold stories from the ancient world.